Let's talk about LSU traveling to Tuscaloosa. The line, Bama -3. Jalen Milroe. I've been seeing draft hype about him now. All of a sudden, he starts throwing the deep ball like he should be really well, and he's moving around the pocket. All of a sudden, people are really, really liking him.
And here's the deal. Like I've been a guy that picked Bama in the regular season. I kind of said everybody don't throw in the towel after Texas loss, even after USF. Like they can still rebound. I don't know where that is coming from. I don't know how you can look at Jalen Milroe and say this is an NFL quarterback after 8 weeks of them playing. I think he's improved dramatically. I think the credit here goes to Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees was a guy that was getting buried,
Oh, yeah.
while Notre Dame was doing his thing and Alabama was struggling. But he's figured out a really nice offense, a complimentary run game with an O-line that's just large and weird. You think would be dominating and powerful, but they just haven't been. The intermediate pass is not there. The short pass is probably even worse. It's just that deep ball. And that's been a difference in a lot of their football games. Playing good defense, running the football, and taking shots when it's there.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of offense, there's a really good offense that Alabama's playing today. Granted, it's going up against a defense, unlike it's probably seen this season. All right. Jaden Daniels. Sorry.
Jaden Daniels for Heisman.
I will speak for you. I'm sorry. Those are the words that are coming out of Christopher's mouth right now. I'll say it for him. I'm sorry. Is that what you wanted to say today?
You know what? I've been I took LSU's under in the offseason, and I did it because
It looks
I
good.
said this specifically. I said, well, the under looks great. But the reason I took it was Jaden Daniels will not progress to be able to throw the deep ball. Oh my gosh. Horrible, horrible take from me. Absolutely. Now that it turns out I
No, it
ignored
was,
a lot
to
of
be
other
fair,
problems on this football team.
we hadn't seen a ton of evidence that shown that he could throw the deep ball.
Well, he didn't really need to last year, and this year with a defense that's awful, a running game that took a while to get going. It's been better as of late, right? The addition of the transfer Logan Diggs from Notre Dame has
Yeah.
helped a
Ready for
lot.
these stats right here? 552 yards per game on offense from LSU. 47 points per game they're putting up. 340 passing yards with the completion percentage of 70%, 26 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, 192 passer rating. In the ground game, which they found recently, which is scary because they didn't have that early in the season. Their rushing attack was Jaden Daniels, who's still a leading rusher, by the way. But Diggs is getting after it there. 200 yards on the ground per game, 212 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, another 22 touchdowns on there. This is an electric offense. Of course, this secondary from LSU is terrible. It is
Awful. And
terrible.
and and they were hoping for some injury luck or some good news coming out of the bye week, and it sounds like that is not the case. They
No,
were looking for some reinforcements. Denver Harris, Deuce Chestnut, like they were looking
no.
for some guys, and that's not going to happen.
They're,
And
quote, currently not with the team, whatever that means. Honestly, I don't know what's really going on in there. So if anyone has more information on that, what's going on there, the LSU secondary, let us know in the comments, please. I would love to be informed because as a guy who took LSU's over 9.5 wins this year, I need something to hold on to. I need something to hold on to. Now, granted, if Alabama wins this game, that under will hit, and us fading each other, you will have won that. And I do predict that to happen. Give me Bama and give me the points, -3. There's no way Jalen Milroe, dude, he's going to be licking his chops. Now, here's one thing that you can't consider, though. LSU's pass rush. If they find a way, I mean, Harold Perkins was MVP last year in this game.
oh yeah,
They can find a way to get him involved again. Mekhi Wingo, Mason Smith. I mean, they can get the Jalen Monroe for sure. But the problem is, this happened against A&M. A&M sacked Jalen Monroe 7 times. But third and long, if you don't have a secondary that can hold up against this improving wide receiver core for Alabama, then you can't really do much. Right? Can't really do much. So I'll take Bama and I'll take the 3. And I'm guessing you're going to take the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you here. And I would never put money on this game. First of all, it's LSU Bama. Anything can happen, right? We've seen that happen in this rivalry game the past 15 years, right? Ever going back to the, Les Miles and LSU and Nick Saban days there at the beginning of Saban's run out of Bama. But I it's hard. It's hard. This LSU team is frustrating because on paper, it's a really good roster. There are some holes, namely in that defense, right? Especially that secondary. And in a conference play, like their stats aren't horrible. They're not good, but they're a little bit misleading. They're allowing almost 400 yards a game, which is not good. But in
Yeah.
conference play, it's been much worse, right? They racked up some numbers, and they have not. They in that conference schedule, they've also played Mississippi State and at Auburn, and both those offenses are not very good. So it's been bad playing competent offenses. Arkansas, Mississippi, and Missouri just ran it up on them. Somehow was 2-1 in those games, even though they probably should have been, maybe 1-2, or maybe, or even
I don't know.
0-3.
Well, the Arkansas game, I'd argue that they could have lost the Arkansas game for sure.
And Missouri, but Mississippi, honestly, in the game they lost, they probably played the
They should
best.
have won.
They should have won that game.
That's the one game that they should have won.
Which also speaks to just how weird this team is right now. And Jaden Daniels, it's hard to bet against him, and I can see him going Superman mode. And Bama's defenses historically have struggled with running quarterbacks. I think this defense is different. I think Kevin Steele is different. I think what's nice about this defense now, as opposed to maybe a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, is like they can stop the run with 6 in the box. With their just playing like they don't have to add extra body to stop the run. That D line is playing fantastic. They've got some guys, Tim Keenan, really emerging on the interior. They got some linebackers playing fantastic football. And the secondary, it was young and maybe inexperienced, but just learning to play together. They had to replace a lot of people in that secondary, and they're starting to gel and play really good football right now. Obviously, this will be their biggest test since Texas, and we all saw what Quinn Ewers and company did to them, in the same building in Bryant Denny in early September. I'm going to go Alabama, though. I think they can run the football. I think Jalen Monroe can hit deep shots, and I would love to see him like intermediate shots and RPOs and just like consistent down-to-down football. I think after the bye, that helps. I do think LSU needed the bye week more than Bama did, but I do think Bama can get better in that bye, and I think that'll be the difference in this football game. I'll take Bama -3.